Jack from Fantasy Can here, and welcome to this week's episode of Rankings. So to start off this week's video, I first want to talk about the trade deadline and all the results of that. I really just want to talk about two people, Demaryius Thomas and Golden Tate. So Thomas moving to the Texans is a pretty good move, I think, for both of them. Thomas has been declining a lot lately, but I think that's mostly been because of the offense he's been in. He's clearly not the player that he used to be, but that doesn't mean that he's bad. You give him a good quarterback that he can actually work with, and I think things are going to happen. I really like this move a lot for the Texans, obviously, especially because of Will Fuller being gone, but I also really like this move for Demaryius Thomas. I think he'll have a bigger role in their offense than he did in the Broncos, and I think he'll actually be much more fantasy relevant. Golden Tate with the Eagles is something I'm not totally sure if I like yet. I'm going to have to wait a couple games, but for right now, I can see some good things happening. He would probably be their wide receiver 2 underneath Jeffrey, but that's still pretty good and gives Carson Wentz a lot more room to work with. So this trade might not be as good for Golden Tate as it is for the Eagles and Carson Wentz, but there's still a lot of positivity to come out of it. Starting off with quarterbacks, we have Mahomes at 1, Newton at 2, followed by Rodgers, Brady, Goff, Cousins, Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Matt Ryan, and Drew Brees. Everyone is really excited about the Rodgers and Brady game coming up. Two amazing competitors that are both arguably the greatest quarterbacks of all time get to go up and face each other. Obviously, I think this game is going to be a shootout. I'm really hoping for high offense and a lot of fantasy points. That's why I'm putting these guys both so high up there. On to running backs, we're going to start off with Todd Gurley, Kareem Hunt, Melvin Gordon, Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, Zeke Elliott, James Conner, James White, Adrian Peterson, and Nick Chubb. So a person that you're seeing on the list here for the first time is Nick Chubb. Chubb has picked up right where Carlos Hyde left off as soon as they traded him to the Jags. And he's had 2 great back-to-back weeks. Put him up against someone like the Kansas City defense, who hasn't really been able to stop the run all year, and things are bound to go pretty well. Going into wide receivers, we're starting off with Adam Thielen, DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams, Antonio Brown, Michael Thomas, Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill, Julio Jones. So Diggs has had an up and down season so far. He was on my thought list earlier this week, but he still has a lot of opportunities to be great. He had a great week last week, catching a touchdown and getting around 100 yards. So you know that the big play capability is there. Whether or not you're going to get it is another question. I still think that he has a great chance of putting up a lot of points this week, so I got to leave him up there, but you still got to be careful with playing Stephon Diggs. Moving on to tight ends, we got Kelsey, Gronk, Kittle, Cook, Njoku, Howard, Graham, Olsen, Burton, and then Rudolph. When you look at the year that O.J. Howard has put together so far, you can't help but notice he's significantly better. Aside from one goose egg, Howard has put up no less than 5 points every week. And now that they're playing Carolina, who's the first in fantasy points among tight ends, I really like him starting this week. And just to go through defenses super fast, we got Chicago Bears at number 1, Chiefs second, Cowboys third, Texans then, Carolina, Ravens, Vikings, Broncos, Dolphins, and rounding up the end we have the 49ers. Thank you guys all for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends if they need any fantasy advice. Also, check out our social media to stay updated and all the stuff that we're putting out. Thank you guys all so much. Everything is in the link in the bio, and I'll see you guys later.